Alright guys, this is what we're doing. A couple of books came in from the mail Saturday. I wanted to do a book review, see how things are going. I just got back from Home Depot and I just picked up all this wood here. Gonna start building the framework for the basement down here. I gotta move all this crap. I gotta put it all over here somewhere. Got my stuff there, more stuff there. So let's get on with the Friday book review. Alright, so what we're looking at is this. Picked up that Friday. And then Saturday, this stuff came in the mail. And this one's pretty cool. This is Featherstone's Complete Wargaming. This is an old library book. And this is probably the better of the book grabs that I got this weekend. So this is Featherstone's Complete Wargaming, Donald Featherstone. Let's see, Featherstone, 1998. And seeing how this is the best one, let's go through this one real first. And like anything, I am a very visual person. And not to say I don't know how to read books, I do. But when it comes to wargaming and history, I seriously want to see pictures. This was June of 1975, and this is before a big crowd, 165th anniversary of Battle of Waterloo. War game was fought in London Hotel in June of 1975. The figures and terrain are by Mike Wilmore. Pretty cool, huh? Refought Battle of Barnet, the War of the Roses. 1471. General Packman assaults General Andrew Jackson's position in New Orleans in January of 1815. January 8th, wow, my birthday. How about that? Mass French attack, moved past La Hasse farmhouse. Look at that. Rocks Drift 1879, refought with Willie figures. Pretty neat, huh? This is Surprise in South Africa. Boers ambush a British infantry patrol in rocky outcrops on the belt. These are Staden 30mm, Swedish African engineers and minifigs. Perhaps the greatest surprise possible in a warfare is the ambush, here demonstrated by Apache Indians against a patrol of U.S. cavalry, courtesy of Duncan McFarlane, War Games Illustrated. Original photograph of this U.S. infantryman, Army 1861. His dark blue fatigue jacket was standard campaign dress, and his weapon was the U.S. rifled musket, model 1861. Battlefields of the Civil War. Then we got a rifle Civil War cannon. The Parrott rifle with a maximum range of 5,000 yards. This was one of the first rifle field guns used by the U.S. Army. Union infantry advancing. Encounter between a Union horseman and a Confederate infantryman. An on-the-spot photograph by pioneer war photographer Matthew Brady of Union artillery in action during the Civil War. Pretty cool. Colt Navy revolver, caliber 32, and Remington Army 44 caliber. Russia's Pennsylvania Lancers. This is an original photograph taken in 1862 of Confederate volunteers at Pensacola in Florida. Here we have a Union 12-pounder field gun in action. Civil War battle is portrayed in a magazine of the day. Fort Ibn Imruel, Albert Canal, Belgium, stormed by German assault glider troops on the 10th of May of 1940. A ground-level gun emplacement, although it is difficult to detect, the battered gun is still in position. That's right there. I don't know if you can see it. The Cannes Bridge over the Albert Canal. The Ibn Emil, I think it's Emil Wargame, a German DFS-230 assault glider, lands alongside a gun cupola and its crew go into action. Oh, look at this. Check this out. The inexpensive plastic HO00 scale troops used in the Ibn Emil Wargame. I know I'm pronouncing that so wrong. I would highly recommend this book, guys. Seriously. If you can find it. This one right here. Well worth it. I think I paid $20 for this thing. A colonial war game involving Northwest frontier tribesmen. Colonial war game around a native village. War game a figure of British World War II airborne soldiers. Look at this. A war game and reconstruction of Frost Airborne Division's defense of the bridge at Arnhem in September of 1944. A bridge too far, boys. This is German airborne forces with a light gun in action in Crete in May of 1941. The figures are Airfix and Atlantic. War in the Sudan. Illustration is illustrated in London News, 1885, by Captain Woodville, on the road to Metemma. The Pure War, tanks in the Western Desert, 1940 to 42. You have a model of a German Panzerkampfwagen 4 used in the Western Desert. Cool, look at that. This is a World War II armored action in the Middle East, 1/300 scale, using Richard Ellis collection, courtesy of Old Town Studios in Swindon. There you go, a model of an American General Grant tank, a welcome reinforcement to the tank strength of the 8th Army in 1942. This is Dawn in the Desert, 1941. The Great Grandfather's War. A Gentleman in Khakis. 3 generations at war. The Boer. The Boer War of 1898 to 1902. The dreaded Vickers Maxi 1-pounder gun in a war game setting. Here, the earlier victories of the Boers were largely due to a prudent habit of keeping out of sight. We have a yeomanry cavalry of the Boer War, 1889-1902. Battle of the Moda River. Same thing, Battle of the Moda River, as seen from the Guards' lines. And we have Boer artillery at the Moda River. The Moda River. And the British infantry in marching order, crossing the Moda River. No, I'm kidding. Opposite, cheating a bit, not 30 Years' War, but an English Civil War siege. Not differing in type, soldiers, weapons, or style of fighting. 25mm ECW figures by Wargames Foundry, designed by Alan Michael Perry. Photo was by Duncan McFarlane from Wargames Illustrated. Pretty neat. Look at that. It's pretty cool. Here we have 17th century war game, Montrose against the Covenanters in 1645. Figures and terrain by Chris Scott collection. Photo by Richard Ellis. French camp at Alberoch. Must have looked something like this, courtesy of Duncan McFarlane, Wargames Illustrated. And then we have some Napoleonics. This is Peninsula War action of 1810. Again, Wargames Illustrated. It's pretty neat. 100 Years' War period is Shorty from a beleaguered castle during a war game. The field of Oberauch in 1345, showing the area of the French camp. Derby's force attacked out of the woods on the right of the road after laying up in the woods for hours watching the French camp. Major General Robert Crawford, 1764 to 1812. Major General Richard Nelson, nicknamed Windy, Nelson Gale, commanding the 6th Airborne Division, Normandy, 1944, and opposite the British Airborne Troops, Normandy, 1944. We got some an assortment of commercially made terrain pieces. And over here we have some Prussian light infantry skirmishing with French carabiniers in a Napoleonic war game. Look at the Prussians. They're pretty good, huh? Nice figs. Very nice. 95th Foot Rifleman Skirmish, Peninsula, 1810. Commandos Raid, it's the Vauxhall Raid in 1941. Vauxhall, 1941. Commandos turn and captured German field piece against its former owners. And this is Wargaming the Raid. Again, Wargaming that raid. The Saint Nazaire raid. The raid on Saint Nazaire. My dog is sneaking around. Dippy, what are you doing? Huh? What are you doing, you little rat? Hey, you eating mud? Get out of here. Hey, get out of there. Stop that. An ancient Indian army with chariots and elephants. Pretty cool ancients. The Syrian cavalry and archers. Napoleon's retreat from Moscow with Marshal Ney, 1812. French rearguard under attack by Cossacks during the retreat from Moscow in 1812. Cataphracti in the Snow by Miniatures, courtesy of Bob Douglas. French Hussar of the Napoleonic period. 3rd Hussars of Lamont's Brigade braved the guns of Almeida to sweep across and onto the flank of the Light Division. British Peninsula Riflemen of the 95th. British Riflemen, French Tirailleurs exchanged fire over the Coa. French infantry in the Napoleonic period, similar to those at the Coa. And then we have French Napoleonic cavalry, similar to those who did so much damage to the Coa. Impressive Napoleonic battle using air effects and HO00 scale plastic figures in a refight of the Battle of Amarillo in Portugal on the 21st of August 1808. John Tuckey's collection, photo by Richard Ellis, courtesy of Miniature Wargames.